Hi, everyone, and welcome to Men Up again. And today I invited Tobias Tubbs again to sit on the couch to create a safe space for us men and us brothers to feel the trust in order to open our heart to a vulnerable conversation. And last time that we were sitting together, it was right before Yom Kippur,
Yom Kippur.
the day to ask for forgiveness, and we talked about forgiveness and how to forgive. And Tobias shared a really deep, meaningful insights out of his journey of life. And today, I was inviting you again today because I felt, first of all, the conversation went beyond
Hmm.
my expectations, or it's not even my dreams.
Hmm.
And I felt like there's so much more to unfold here, and there's even deeper layer that wants to reveal itself. And I'm really excited. So a friend of mine noted me for the fact that maybe I should start with a intention, or like let the audience know what's the intention of like this Men Up, this podcast,
Yes.
this place. What's my intention of? And yes, create a safe space, create a trend for men to be vulnerable and to open their heart and to know that they're not alone, even though most of the time we feel that we are kind of walk alone on this planet. And but we're not. We're the same struggles, and we're going through we're battling the same demons. We are trying to balance. So today my intention is to talk about fear.
Hmm.
But before we will start the conversation, I want to invite us to hold hands,
Hmm.
as I promised last
Hmm.
time. And I want to invite the intimacy and the wisdom to come through us and ask you, what is it fear for you?
Hmm. First of all, uh, thank you. But, often thank you doesn't get it. I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. Appreciative. Appreciative means that we are growing in wealth, in value, in strength. I think that's a better word. I am appreciative. I make it a habit before sitting in a place to give recognition to those who sat here before me. We're in Beverly Hills, a place in which the Tongva people
Mm-hmm.
uh, sat before this building was
Mm-hmm.
here, and the guild of directors, CVS, Bloomingdale's, Macy's, Cedar Sinai.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. And I'm going to say her name. Toya Purina is a revolutionist, a healer of the Tongva people who was seeking to keep their cultural and spiritual rights alive in a place that we now call Beverly Hills. So I understand where I'm at in that regard, and And then there was Maria Valdez Villa, who after them owned the land in which we call Beverly Hills.
Mm.
Nationality, Mexican. Ethnicity, African.
Really?
Really.
Hmm.
Not even 100 and some odd years ago when Mexico owned this area.
Mm-hmm.
And they awarded it to her for the struggles and fight of her and her husband, who was a soldier. So I say that is that we have to be very mindful in atonement. Yom Kippur, atonement. Of where we at and who traveled this land before us,
Mm-hmm.
and give honor to them as we wish and even desire that our names will be said in a positive light, in a good light, in a loving light, maybe 100, 200, 300 years from now. Fear. I only have one fear, and for those who heard us speak before, incarceration is one thing, imprisonment, but it's really the interaction between any human being and the militarized force, LAPD, the Sheriff's Department, 1988 until, and where the war on the super predator was being launched. And I became the face of the super predator. So I like to place things in context,
Mm-hmm.
so that our beautiful audience will understand when I am speaking, this is something very deep in me. It's very intimidating to have young white men with badges and guns put a gun into your mouth and say, nigga, I'll blow your fucking brain out. We're talking about fear.
Yeah.
Here. And that's happened to me 3 or 4 times in my youth, where they stuck the gun in my mouth. Not arresting me, not telling me what my traffic violation was, surrounding me. In those moments of the glimpse of fear, anger turns to rage.
Mm-hmm.
And then I learned that rage was not my own. It was ancestral.
Mm-hmm.
Of many of men, many of cultures, many lands were surrounded by a force who made them the other.
Mm-hmm.
Who through laws and precepts, real or imagined, you're the problem. And by God and the state, we're here to eliminate you. That's what was told to me personally.
Yeah.
No disrespect to no one else's story or life. Fear, you ask. Being stripped naked at any moment by male or female guard. Not that I really have any shame of my body then or now, but it's something very degrading, humiliating, by to have another human being be able to dominate and lord over you in that way. In all these experiences and watching them happen to tens to thousands of people over almost 30 years, that my only fear became, and this is going through every form of depression, every form of angst, every form of vexation, every form of anger and rage, that my only fear is not being close to a law in which we commonly call the Creator. Because once my soul, my heart, and my mind understands that I am more than this physical body, and the anger based in fear, it only locks and imprisons me inside of this physical body. And so once I really start atoning, Yom Kippur. Atoning. For those who do not know, and I come from a place of just seeking to share my experiences, atoning is defined to reconcile and to seek forgiveness or to give forgiveness. But the etymology is atone means to be one or to become one.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are in the season of atonement, Yom Kippur, Ayam Ghafur in Arabic, which is the days. So the Muslims say, bro, we got days of atonement.
Yeah.
One day ain't enough, whatever that means. The Catholic Church, my name is Tobias, so I'm deep in Catholicism. They have the Feast of Atonement. Inside of the Kemetan sciences, in which they call Egypt, in which Moses or Moshe, the whole Quran is built upon Moses in Egypt. Joseph was in Egypt. And so they have called the Book of the Dead, which is also called the Book of Life, which is based on atonement. The Hindu sciences. And the reason why I'm naming all of these, because when you are in prison, which I was never in prison, I was just incarcerated in my body. I'm gonna say it again. I was never in prison. Never. I was just incarcerated. My physical body was in a place in which concrete, steel, and machine gun sought to keep me there. And I obliged. Because I'm still here. If not, I would try to escape, fight them, kill them. They probably would have killed me. So I leaned into it because there's nothing to fear. Because I'm not my physical body, once again. And so I learned that everyone is not going to believe in Tobias. I'm Black. I'm a Muslim. I'm young. I'm everything that divides us. But what if I learned what you believe? And then, God bless you.
You too.
And then I'm able to talk to you in the language of love, connect with you in your beliefs, and we agree that we're going to hold you to your beliefs, not my beliefs, but I actually believe what you believe. Because I believe in Moshe. I believe in Yom Kippur. And sadly, most times I know more about it than most people who claim they know about it.
You believe in the essence of it.
Of course of
Yeah,
it.
the essence.
I believe in the 10 saints that died as martyrs.
Yep.
Under the Caesar, the Greco-Roman tyrant that said he was killing them under the guise of that Joseph or Yahweh Seth didn't get atonement or redemption. They got away with it, his brothers. But y'all 8, it was really 8, but they added 2 more and put it all together in one package. They feared for a moment, but the leader of them went to God, the Most High, and he prays, is this martyrdom, is this torture that we're about to experience, is this death, if this molestation from you, then let each one of us who suffered a different form of hurt and harm take it as if it's from you. The next day that he came to, I'm not going to even say his name, the Caesar, the king, the president, the sultan, and said, I have talked to God like you asked me, and this is from him. And we all agree that this is from him. You're talking about fear. And they tortured each of those men differently. And my favorite of them is the one that they was removing his skin from his body, burning him. And he would say the Shema, I believe, S-H-E-M-A.
Shema.
Shema, thank you. Yahweh is our Lord, Adoni. And he is Echad or Ahad, the one. And on the last breath of the one, he gave his physical life. The one. That is atonement. So in the face of everything that came towards me, I was in my walk of atonement, that I am one, the Creator is one, Yeshua, the Christ, Muhammad, Musa, Jonah, Joseph, they're all one. Isaac is one with Ishmael, they're all one. Their mothers are one, their sisters are one.
Yep.
Brother.
Yeah.
The hatred, jealousy, envy, treachery, perversions of those demons that are humanity must continuously check. It likes or it seeks to divide us from such oneness. That's my fear. Not being one, not being connected.
Yeah.
Loved one. So I am intentional. What is the intentional? Men up. Men up. Let's be deliberate in staying one.
Mm-hmm.
That is it. The death of my parents, I addressed that fear. The death of my wife, Starese Najima. She died in 1997 of a broken heart. Fear. The fear of me dying in prison. The fear of my grandparents or parents are not knowing that I'm better than my worst so-called situation that happened in my life. Fear. Come on, brother.
I hear you.
Come on,
I hear
man.
you deeply. And you know what comes up for me right now is, you know, the expression when we say, let's find a common ground.
Yes.
What do you mean, let's find a common ground? Look underneath you. Like
Mm.
this is a common ground.
Yeah.
Like it's all common.
Yeah.
And we all attach to this ground.
Yeah. Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And then the illusion of the mind is create a separation.
Yeah.
So we don't see that we're all like one fabric.
Come on,
we
bro.
all one together. And it's under like we are connected to it. Can you detach yourself from this
No.
ground? No one can.
No.
Some people try and think that they can controlling the world.
No.
And they're trying to control our mind, but we are in a place right now that we understand that we can master our minds and we cannot be fooled anymore.
Come on.
Because we see the lies
Come on,
around
brother.
us.
Come on, brother.
And last time you talk about forgiveness, and I asked you what is forgiveness,
Yeah.
and you told me it's the gap.
Greatness.
And fear,
Yeah.
you know, to my understanding or out of my
Mhm.
experience, fear is this kind of gap that it's a protection thing.
Yeah.
That's supposed to protect our heart.
Yeah.
And in this gap, we are imprinting
Yeah.
or like we're thickening this layer of fear that's supposed to protect us, but it's not really protecting us.
No.
And as long as the fear is like bigger, the thick it will be, it will be thicker.
I love it. You said something very powerful, you know.
But wait a second.
Yes, please.
Because I want to. You remember when we said the first time, and then you told me about the fear, because that's the end of kind of to understand how to make the separation. It's a long journey to just even understand what we are even speaking about, what the Zohar is speaking,
Yes.
what the Kabbalah is like,
Yes.
all those ancient, incredible information that I'm struggling to understand, but my soul understand that, but my logic not always. What I'm trying to go to is the moment that you share with me how you realize that you are fearless all of a sudden, and how you realize, you remember when you told me when you're sitting in the cell, can you tell this story? And then the guard was every day was coming and tried to make you
right. To your point, forgive, atonement, atone, to make one, to be one, or to become one. We said to create distance between, and you said the heart. in every script, whether it's Hebrew, Jewish scripts, Arabic, African, Hindu, the heart is the focus.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. You said it, not me. You brought the heart in. In this society, we're so used to equating the mind with the human brain, not knowing the whole body is mind. But it's really pointing us to the heart. And in whatever direction the heart turns, that is where the mind will follow. So if my heart is fixed on God, the creator, love, spirit, truth, honesty, positive thinking, positive emoting, and then my mind and even my ego will participate in that process. It's only normally my traumas based in fears, real or imagined, that will interfere with my mind and change the conditions of our heart. We call that spiritual illness. There was an individual in prison. The more we become present and mindful, the more sensitive that your ears become, your eyes become, your nose become. This is what drugs and normally certain kind of pharmaceuticals and certain kind of stuff we put on our conscience, it dulls the senses. So I'm sitting in prison with limited contact or no contact with women other than the aggression that a lot of the guards showed. But there were some women there who were women who recognized what was taking place. And they were very kind to not only me, some of us, but that's not the norm. In general, in the first 20 years of my sentence, the culture was to punish us. When you come in around maybe 5 o'clock in the morning for the morning shift, there's a certain sound that, if you're talking about this experience, then when you put the gun, the chamber in one of those assault rifles, and, you know, it's very spiritless, it's mechanical, and it's loud, and it rings through the door.
Loading the gun?
Oh, he's loading the bullet to kill, because there's no warning shots. Every shot is to kill. There's no gonna shoot you in the knee or, you know, your arm. No, we're gonna shoot you in your head or in your chest, twice in the chest, one in the head. And so normally I'm up for prayer, and it just became like almost an agitation of the intention, not just a sound. There's plenty of sounds going to go on throughout the day. Why did that sound agitate me? Brother, I'm a master meditator. Bro, I leave my body and go into other dimensions and realms, brother, on various levels, psychological, neurological, brother, quantum. But I found myself, so I started looking at him. It turns out he's looking at my cell, at me. I said, oh, he's projecting in here. This is not a general preparation of an officer who's coming in prepared to do his job. If we should start hurting ourselves as staff, he is willing to do the most worst deed, which is to have to kill one of us. No, he's looking at myself. So I said, maybe I'm tripping. It's early. I ain't have my, I ain't have my Folgers yet, man. So I just started observing this joker every morning, like, I've become his muse. I've become the reason in which he gets up in the morning. I'm the target. And later on, other officers said, yeah, when we are fighting abroad and when we do this work here, because some of the officers was going to other countries fighting. I'm not going to say where they was going. We don't have to go into all that, but she go from New York, right on across, go, do whatever they do, and they come back and they're COs in our prisons. And so we're taught to shoot the one who's doing all the talking, or the one who has the kufi on his head, or the one who breathes hope, the one who is the light. So Tubbs, it's you. That's who we have to kill, because in war, you kill their hope. You cure their light. You break their spirit.
Wow, that's deep.
You teach them not to fear us. These are conversations I've had with officers, men to men,
Wow.
with officers. Truth serum. Come straight, shoot straight with me, man. Tubbs, it's not personal. We personally like you as a person. But at the end of the day, if we're given the command to shoot this black kufi up off your head, believe that kufi is shot. So when you ask me about fear, and I tell these experiences, they ain't even stories. This is what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if men have been in prison 30, 40 years during the time that I've been in, they can speak on these experiences if they have the emotional fortitude, for one, because you don't want to re-traumatize yourself. Most people just say to come on, oh, forget all that, Tobias. You're out. You can wear your African shirts and your Nike shoes, and you're over there sitting with Yehuda in Beverly Hills on a podcast. Why did that stuff even get? What do you mean? Why does it care? Trauma is transgenerational. Trauma is cascading. Trauma will pass from generation to generation to generation if we don't stop it. So God, the creator, divine, has given me a voice. He's given me proper emotions the majority of the time. He's given me the body, the vibe to speak to this, because I'm not the only one now or in the world who is facing these circumstances or have faced them. And so what has happened, I don't know what story I tell you, because when I get talking to you, I actually feel like I'm on the couch. Even when we was at the coffee shop, man, I just found myself wanting to share. You know, you have that effect. And so one day I flashed the light to get out, because you have to ask permission. You have to ask permission. You have to have permission to get water, because we don't have water in the cell. What you do? But it's not the kind of water that you can drink, because prisons, or ours did, well, I just claimed it as mine, the prison, which was my university, it had its own water filtration plant. And that plant had some kind of chemicals that was off. So they put a sign up on the wall, don't drink the water inside the cell. It's toxic. Wow. That's crazy. And so I flashed the light. And so the water faucet is underneath the guard tower. So I called the officer real close. He's looking like, what the fuck you want, Tubbs? And I explained to him. I said, sir, he's right here. He got the gun. And they got that little hole right there. They always put it down in your face so they can let you know they can just blow your face off. I said, sir, you think about me too much. He said, what? I'll show up in your dreams. Tubbs, I'll roll you up. I walked off. If somebody thinks about me that much, I'm already in you. I don't even think about you until you came up on my radar. But I'm not going to think about you that much that you're going to start occupying and creating neurological real estate in grids in my brain, especially those centered around vindictiveness, treachery, catching you when you come out that gun tower, when you about to walk up in there at 2:00 when you're trying to get up off this yard. I'm not going to do that. Matter of fact, I'm going to forewarn you. I'm not a physical being. Guns have been taken away from me. Knives and sticks and clubs and fists have been taken away from me. I have a greater power. I'm connected with the one, atonement. I'm connected with the one. The same one who shares breath. We share breath, bro.
True.
You don't have to tell your heart to beat, and I'm not telling my heart to beat. We don't even have that responsibility. But our hearts are beating right now. You feel me? The same neurological processes, biological processes you have, I have, bro. So it's really not too much separating us but our consciousness in what you scared of and what I ain't scared of. So the next day he comes in, I don't hear no clicking and clacking. But man, you got to chamber that gun because that's procedure. But shit, I don't hear the gun clicking. The door comes open. I'm talking, it ain't even time for the door. I grab my water jug. Maybe he's just coming to get me some water. He called me. He's frantic. He says, Tubbs, I'm going to leave you alone. That's all I asked her. Thank you. I showed up in his dreams because I planted the seed. I was going to do it. You're trying to plant a seed of fear in me, which I reject the seed. I took it though. And I'm going to transform that seed of your ugliness into a beautiful sunflower, like these flowers, these yellow flowers behind my head. And then I'm going to show you, you're not fighting with me, you're fighting with yourself. It's something in me that you hate. Why? Because my arms are big? Bro, I'll fast. If these big arms intimidate you, bro, what is in my voice? Loved one, I'll be more mindful that my voice is a trigger to you. Oh, it's the attention that they give me that your friends don't give you, but you're this mighty officer sitting up in the tower, bro. I love you so much with a love that is so benevolent. Me lowering my voice is not lowering me. Me covering my body and my whoop that offends you, it's not lowering me. Because what you tripping on ain't me.
Yeah.
Who is me is the one giving you a pass. That I just don't start running you crazy and he put that gun on your mouth and blow your head off. See, that's another part of me. He's vindictive. He's a revolutionist. Eye for eye, tooth for a tooth, fire for fire. Oh, you want to play? I'm going to play. You got a gun? I got psycho-spiritual powers. I know the angels and I know the demons.
Oh, yes.
You feel me?
Yeah,
so it was a
you.
choice. It was a choice. And I told, the choice was to love and not to live in fear. Because if it's not written for him to shoot this kufi off my head, he can't do it.
That's a big, and that's something to let it just like echo,
brother.
For
and
a
I was
second,
in my 30s, bro. This ain't me talking like I'm 54, but I was like 32, 33 years old. And
you know,
20s. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
And it takes time. It takes time to understand everything you understand right now, and to go through all of those experiences, and to, after those experiences, have all those conclusions of what's going on in your mind and how fear works, and how people, whoever think that they're in control of this world, their ego is so big to make them think that they really can control so many people. But one of the things that I love about you is the fact that you are a living example of Exodus. And you've been talking
Exodus, movement of the people. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
That's my favorite. No, you just had to take that moment right there. That was good. Exodus, I got you, brother. Exodus.
Because I feel that you have the experience and the knowledge to set us free from the prison that we are, kind of. That not we are, that the body is kind of in the illusion of this physical realm, world, body. This is not what the infinite soul that we that we also are, you know? So everything you're saying, it's so divine. And that's why, you know, Moses walked for 40 years to literally understand the egoic body, mind, way of thinking, and to break all those all those layers.
Come on now.
And to show us the one.
Brother, that's what the golden calf in my evaluation is about. Listen, I am Moshe, I am Moses. I go off into my secret place. I am talking to the divine. I'm being transformed, not only spiritually and heart and soul, my physical body is lit, man. And I come down. Aaron, what's going on there? Aaron, Yehuda, I left you here with the people. What's going on? Oh, they partying, whoop, and they popping and twerking and eating and drinking and Bro, we did not come up out of for this. Now, God has blessed us to get off of one. He allowed us to take the war chest for 2. I leave, but this is where Yom Kippur started at.
Exactly.
Brother, he break the tap. Bam!
Why?
And to your point, brother, the promised land is right there. You can look right over. There it is. Right here, bro. But he walked. In the prayer that he made, this is one of the Yom Kippur prayers, that he goes to God, the divine, and he tells them, if you don't forgive my people, write me out the book.
Yeah.
Whoa. If you don't forgive my people, if you don't give my people a means of atonement, coming back into the oneness, then don't. And I'm going to walk with them. I'm going to suffer with them. While Joshua and Caleb is looking over. So maybe this generation won't get it. I'm going to say it again. Maybe this generation of adults, 80 to 50, some of the 40s are kind of tainted too. Maybe we won't get it. But me and you don't got no choice. We gonna keep walking, bro. We gonna keep calling in the men up, bro. And prepare the Joshuas and Caleb to take the land, brother. Because they have no fear, because there's no giants in the promised land.
True.
Brother, they're in the light of Moshe. They're in the light of Moses. The youth carried it, brother, for Malcolm, for Martin, for Gandhi, brother, for Moses, for Yeshua the Christ, for Muhammad, for the ones of the Ganga River, my Hindu brothers, Krishna, Buddha. It has always been the youth. It is the revitalization of the youthful mentality. You know how kids ain't afraid of nothing? A kid will stick his hand in a hot bush. Oh, that's hot. Oh, shit, that's hot. Whoa, don't eat them. Nah, right? So it builds a proper respect. Respect, to look again, to look back again. What they have done, fear Yehuda. I told one of my friends, yeah, man, I'm going on a podcast, brother named Yehuda. Yehuda, the name freaked him out. Oh, he's a Jewish guy? Damn. Is he a Jewish guy? You feel me, bro?
I do.
You feel me, man? This man is heart, he's soul, he's love, he's vulnerable. Man, he's texting me in the midst of the crisis, but ain't really a crisis, bro. You doing your stuff. If you don't text me, it's our business about what I'm talking about. But you feel me?
Yeah.
And he just happens to be, yes, a guy with a name, who's a Jewish guy. But just because, that's why I don't leave. That's why I dress the way I dress on the first podcast. Because I don't want to have people to have no preconceived notions about who I am, because your fears will activate and your ears are closed down. And thus your heart will never be properly affected by the word and power of our living God and Creator, who is one. So the same oneness that Bilal ibn Rabah, who was an African from Ethiopia, who was being tormented by European Arabs, saying the one, as a brick was placed upon his body, bro, burning him. Is that the same heart as our rabbi who was being tortured and being burnt when his last word is the one? Could possibly Black Bilal from Ethiopia? And our rabbi that we supposed to be commemorating every Yom Kippur, is it the same oneness? Of course it's the same oneness. Why? Because they was fighting against the same system. Fighting against everything that oppresses and demeans and takes and just ridicules and degrades. It's the same oneness, bro. So, to your point, fear. I fear that my heart will ever turn from the divine. That's my only fear. How do I not allow that to happen? Every day I am intentional in my steps and loving and increasing my love, not just being thankful, but being grateful or full of greatness. What greatness is that? is being loose and flexible in life. Taking those deep breaths and allowing my spirit to appreciate. Once again, what is appreciation? To be increased in value, to be increased in quality and strength. This interaction, talking to Alex, the producer, brother, sitting here in Beverly Hills for 2 hours just watching the streets and watching what's going on and, bro, feeling the tongue of a people. Feeling Sister Maria Villa, who owned all of this, but she didn't own it. No one owns it. God owns it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've been invited. Brother, I need a parking space. So I end up taking a turn thinking all these streets are connected. Oh, man, I keep going higher and higher up into a mountain. Then I looked and it says no parking, permit only. I'm like, wow. In the lands of the tongue, well, I could have just walked all the way through. And plus I had to use the restroom too. I'm like, man, I can take a dump anyway. Wool comes biodegradable. It goes back into the earth. We all good. Well, man, you got a big black guy pissing in somebody's bushes in Beverly Hills, brother. I might have been in jail. The point of it is the sign says you can only be here by permit or permission. And that comes with a cost.
Mm-hmm.
And normally a cost that I cannot afford. So go back down this hill and find Ralph's and ask the man for the code so you go there and use the restroom. Mm-hmm. My point of it is that there is no fear. And the only fear, and yes, fear, yellow light, okay, be cautious. A red light is coming. If it doesn't happen, you're liable to cause a collision. Hurt somebody, tear up your cars, whoop, move. Electricity, don't stick your finger in the socket. Fear, I think, is awareness. Oh, a bear is right there. Why am I scared of the bear? Whoa, some people walk through bears and nothing happens. They got bear whispers, you know. Mm-hmm. Bear come lay on him, he laying on the bear. You feel me?
Yeah.
So a lot of our fears is according to knowledge and what you're resonating. Brother, I've never been stung by a bee. Never. And I love bees.
I love bees too.
Brother, I go inside of their spaces by permission. I bring my consciousness and my frequency up to the one that they are one with, because we have the same potential, not just the sun, but the creator of the sun. Then I hold space. I hear their humming, which is their singing, their psalms, their praise. I see their waggle dance, and I mimic that within my own consciousness. I understand the dynamics of their flying and what they're seeking to do as a collective atonement. And through their atonement or becoming one or being one, they create a sweetness of 7 octaves. And in that sweetness, there's 7 forms of healing. Even Solomon said, and he is one of the best of us, he said, she is the queen bee. How did Solomon know that the bee is ran by a matriarchy? We say that now because science tells us that. Oh, yeah, we know that bee, but still on the commercials, you know, there's never a female bee talking in a female's voice. It's always the dude talking. And male bees don't even do no talking. They working. They don't do no ordering. They don't tell nobody to do. When baby come, you got a specialized tongue. She got 2 bellies. And you go into that specialized belly, whoop, and you grab all that sweet pollen that she done collected from the earth. You take it now into yourself. And then you take it into the home. It goes to building the home, taking care of the new larva and babies, and making a special royal jelly for the queen. That's your job. And mating. And it come time to move, bro. You ain't doing no talking. We're going to kill you off, and you can become a part of the landscape. Because she takes her eggs and her female sorority, and they go to the next space. My point being, there is nothing to fear when you understand the language, the dance, the song, the praise of a thing, and everything in this life praises God in a specific way. And when we are in tune or one with that atonement, that I feel that there's nothing to fear, but always to be aware of. So that's how it took, yes, years, but that's the journey of this life.
Yeah.
And for everyone's listening, I love my body. I love eating. I love sexuality. I love the earth. I like driving one of them Lamborghinis that's next door. But I understand that my worth is not predicated on if I can afford to eat at one of these restaurants, or I'm driving a Renegade and he's driving the new Benz truck. I don't suffer from that in my consciousness. I do believe we're here to experience heaven on earth, but earth is not heaven. That's the difference. They have us believing that this is heaven. And so if you're not living a certain way, then that's when we get to taking each other's stuff, hurting each other, grabbing land, in which at the end of the day, ask the astronaut, he says, as further as they get away from the earth and they look back, the more silly war becomes. And every astronaut that I've studied who have done that physically, not saying our ancestors who've done that spiritually, but they have all written that. They said, as we look back and we see that blue ball and how small
it is
that it gets, every bit of war, chaos, confusion that is taking place upon it, we get disgusted so much they have noticed some of them to being crazy. Some of them like, oh yeah, we don't need them talking, because the machine still wants you. But it's just a little ball, bro. It's just amazing.
We're tiny. We're so tiny, and it's you. Amen for everything you said. First of all, amen, Ashe.
It's you drawing it out, bro.
You are.
Man up.
That's why I love speaking with you and hearing you and like soaking your words. And you touch on so many things, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm trying to catch up your words, and I'm trying to. I have so many things to share about this and this and that, but you are a living example of how to set of how you set yourself free from your own prison, and also for us to identify this moment of the fear or the anger or the illusion or whatever comes up in my body right now as a receptor. We are receptors. That's we are. We are feeling something from the environment. We are reacting, but we have a control. We don't have to be so reactive. We don't have to.
No.
Whatever the threat. That right now we are overwhelmed and overflowing with so many threats all over the place.
Come on.
It doesn't really kind of hurt me, but whoever wants to be in control and think that they're in control wants to trigger those,
brother,
to poke you on those.
Brother, the imagination is already activating the biological and neurological process that you are being hurt.
Yep.
That's the trick.
Yep.
Your brain doesn't know the difference.
Exactly.
If you watch a scary movie on TV, you're literally your brain think you're there. So it's going to stick to latent. So the same thing, and this is Plato's cave. And normally I speak in educational spaces, academic spaces. So not to touch on no one's religiosity or what we believe that we know, and you ain't going to teach me about my book, kind of. So I say Plato. Oh, Plato. What does he know about Plato? I've taught this at university, high level. Plato says a cave, and he says there's slaves and prisoners in this cave. And these are the youth of a people. Athena, Pallas, the goddess of wisdom, she enters the cave. She wakens up a youth. This can be a person or it can be a intelligentsia or a collective. And she turns on the light in the cave and points at a wall. And there's images on the wall that has lured transgenerationally the youthful vitality of elation to sleep. And so Athena, wisdom, she's also the goddess of war, the goddess of medicine, the goddess of music in Greco-Roman mythology. And people who don't study Greco-Roman mythology, you missed the Yom Kippur. You missed it. We commemorate those 10 because it was the Greco-Romans that was pushing their mythology upon the people. It's the same stuff. Everybody is pointing us in the same direction. So she showed this one, the multi-dimensional levels of a mass media entertainment industry that controls the youthful vitality, the spirit of a people by the imagery that they project upon them. With that being said, just the mere sight of a thing triggers us as enemy with thoughts, emotions, and now behavior that it warrants. So with that being said, I walk into Starbucks. It's 9 police officers, normally white males, normally young, garbed in arrogance, garbed in prowess, garbed in they were tough guys. I already have the advantage. You don't even know who I am. I can be anybody. Most likely in most situations, I got to jump on you. I can hurt some people. To break my youthful vexation with police officers who have harmed me, I walk up on them. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Oh, they look at me. I'm touching you, sir. Thank you for your service. Then they look at my face and they, oh, this dude's serious. He's not bullshitting. He's not playing. They look in a man's eye and they can feel his power and they can feel his strength, but they can feel his humility. And then I tell them, you don't have to worry about who I am. At a time in my life, I couldn't shake your hand. In a time in my life, I couldn't tell you, thank you, sir. I'm able to do that now. Thank you for your service. Have a peace and safeful day. And mean it. And mean it.
1 second. Once you shake my hand right now, you were shaking my hand and I felt the vibration all the way to the heart. That just, I wanted to just like know
Loved
that.
one, when 2 neurons touch, they create consciousness. When 2 human beings touch on deep levels, we create love.
Yes. So, you went there, and that's kind of lead me automatically to talk about the PDD break. What is it? How you call it? Like this news, this that this topic that everyone, this story that everyone is like dealing with all of a sudden. And it's so easy for the media and whoever in control to point the gun towards the black people. Like we are the only one who do those awful things.
Yeah.
And I've heard so many stories around it that they're trying to, you know, focus, like to target our focus towards there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what happened in the industry? Like we don't really know what's going on in the industry.
Yeah, I got you.
And as you said, like how we are using the youth.
Loved one, listen.
But wait, because I think,
oh my goodness.
Yes, it's awful. And I'm not trying to minimize what happened. It's awful. But that's where we can go when a lot of power sits on a very fragile foundation.
True.
And
agreed.
And basically a power that sits on trauma and pain. True. So you're using this power that you all of a sudden have, and you're perpetuating the pain on the next people, and you use it, but it's not yours.
Yes,
it's not yours. Speak. And I don't want to blame, and I don't want to start blaming the white or the black or the white who started it. In
No.
It's all feeding the same separation. It's all feeding the same war. I'm not here to create more wars.
No.
I'm here to just look at it. Just look at it. If you think that there are brown, black people who do those things, know that there's also white people who do the same thing. And I've been listening to this, the song, I'm a black man in a white world. I'm a black man in a white world. And it's obvious. It's nothing new. Nothing new.
Loved one. I text you because I said a few things, and I just wanted you to know that although I've taken a couple lumps on the head, so certain names and stuff don't hit me real quick. Names, dates, but the general truth of what I'm saying. And I wrote you about Matthew Ho, and I told you about Matthew Ho, soldier, Marine, officer. See that the best way is not wars. Started working in the White House, worked on a couple watches. I don't want to be saying whose watch. Then he finally came to the conclusion that, man, I'm going to start telling people what's going on. Basically, and you can look him up, we are living in a Greco-Roman society. He said the heads, they're clearly following deities. We just think this is just Hollywood TV. These deities are spirits. And these spirits are demented. These spirits are evil. These spirits don't have our best interests. All religions and mythology speaks on these spirits.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to what is going on in hip hop, what's going on with Mr. P. Diddy. P. Diddy is a lesson in the same way that I can sit here and go back to the Tongva people who were in this space before we called it Beverly Hills. Sister Maria, who owned or was given this area. If you go back to Greco-Roman culture, the things that we are looking at and grabbing our pearls and awe and shame, that is the base of Greco-Roman culture. The base. Look, bro, we pride ourselves in it. We name all our planets and keep them there. Our holidays is all pointing to that, bro. Certain names that we call, we should never call them. We need to call them by Hebrew names. We need to call them by Arabic names. We need to call them by, but we still call them, and we know we're doing this willfully. Bro, if I give you a name of the devil, I ain't gonna keep calling his name in my house. I'm not gonna teach my kids that name. Why would I? We know the power of names, my point. When the sports and music industry started in this country, those who are the founders of this country had a very good head start due to the conditions of slavery. So now I can go get a buck right here, and his name is Tobias. Toby, you're going to beat Ben's ass today. And when you beat Ben's ass, I'm going to give you a piece of chicken. I'm going to let you sleep with this girl right here, and you're going to be my champion. And they'll put me back on the wagon, and they're going to put Ben on back of this wagon, and me and Ben, we're going to cross each other with some little cloth upon our fists. And I'm going to look into my brother's eyes. Nigga, we're going to be eating chicken tonight, and we're going to be having some good sex and drinking some wine. But we're gonna give them a good show. We know this. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna beat the shit out of each other, but we're gonna slam, and they're gonna raid, and they're gonna pay, bro. They've created whole industries. Mm-hmm. And it's not about blame, but if we can't sit and just call it what it, why is the NFL, the NBA, and all these, we need black owners, we need more inclusiveness, we need to get more percentage, we need to, okay, why? Because the same people own everything. And how? And why? And then there is an element, not saying all owners or all, there is an element of sickness and perversion, sexual perversion, that pervades and is quiet inside. It lives in shame, brother. It lives in shame. And so if I'm going to be the next one, but I can name the rappers who's like, bro, was rapping, oh, you ain't gonna sit on that couch unless you're gonna have whoop in your mouth. Whoa, he's crazy. Now, dude was telling us. There's a whole list of them. Now, I've been telling y'all the last 15 and 20 years that all them dudes is sleeping with them demons, and they putting them upon our people like that. Woo. They've been telling us. So, as for us, your situation that you shared with me when we first met, all the perversion and just sexual harassment and agitation that I've experienced being locked in a cage, we are the kind of people that come to the table and understand if we would only live by what we claim we believe. If you believe in the Torah, you believe in the Kabbalah, if you believe in the stories of Moses and Joseph and our mother Sarah and Abraham, then just lay that out and walk it, bro. And just walk that. If you believe in Muhammad and literally then you believe in Abraham and you believe in Sarah and you believe in Isaac and Jacob. If you are really into Krishna and Buddha, if you're into Osar and Aset, It doesn't matter what symbolism that you're claiming or the language or ethnic culture that you're speaking in. It's calling us to love. It's calling us to spirit. It's calling us to permaculture. Permaculture teaches us this: respect of the divine creator, the respect of land, and be equitable in our shares. So I don't even have to become religious. I'm a permaculturalist.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I teach. Universal. Can we all respect Mother Earth?
Yeah.
The systems of Mother Earth? Can we really acknowledge her and her strength and resiliency? That right now, earthquake will happen, bro. We won't make it up out of here, brother. It'll smash Beverly Hills to the ground. California might get just shaken up off the dang map, bro. And then, you know, 500 years from now, bro, it'd be sunflowers and everything else float up, bro. Like we wasn't even here. That's how vulnerable that we are. So we have to respect. And then, I have a better respect for you. So there's certain things that I wouldn't dare do to you, knowing that you're vulnerable, knowing that you're impoverished, knowing that you just want the American dream, or you want to be the one because you're delicate in that way. We all want to have wealth. We all want to live up in that hill where you got to have a permit and drive that whole line of $300,000. And then you take most people, as you said, the youth, Plato, where we're young and vulnerable. Not even your heart and your spiritual process. This is how I got out of prison. At 25 years old, yes, the neurological process of the brain has hardened, but that doesn't mean that you have cultivated an adult mind. Normally, it takes another 15 years to cultivate an adult mind. So yes, you can have an adult brain with a prefrontal lobe that is fully formed, but how to feel and think and emote as an adult, that's a greater commitment. And I believe we have failed in our family life, community life, church life, in doing that for our youth. And so to what is going on, not only just in Hollywood, but it's all over the world. If we men up, real talk, real men, and grab a youth, youth, Y-O-U-T-H. You. Oh, it's the youth in you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm grabbing for the youth in you that have been possibly hurt, that has been possibly misinformed, that has possibly did things or have been forced to do things that you're ashamed of. That's who I'm grabbing, bro. That's who you're grabbing. So I think that approach, with any blame, the first thing you said when you asked me about forgiveness, I made it clear, brother, I'm not here to point no fingers at nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is in the next person is definitely within me. So the more that I understand myself, the more that I can be benevolent in my love. And love is powerful, brother. Love is the most powerful force in the creative world and outside. And it's not the kind of love that excuse violation. It's not that kind of love. It's not the kind of love that sits in silence. It's the kind of love that allows men to stand up and just say no.
Yeah.
Because we're saying yes. You feel me? We don't have to say no. Just say yes to what we're saying, and it's an automatic no to what they're seeking to get us to participate in.
Yes.
So that's what your brother's into, man.
Mm-hmm. That's so profound. This conversation is wait a second. I need to have a second to just like.
Oh, if you don't notice, every time I start quiet, I take a drink and close my eyes and get still.
It's I'll share with you a little bit about, like you mentioned that I on this first conversation that we had, I shared with you about the misconduct that I went through, and you know, I went to meet this guy at his place, and he was creating this TV show that now on Netflix, and it's like, and he wanted to offer me, and the whole business meeting turns to be a sexual harassment, and where he flashes his, and 10 years later, this moment, I was accusing him on the media, and calling it out. And And last Yom Kippur, I was forgiving myself for doing that. And I also forgiving him for doing that. And because we have the ability to forgive, and I was too naive maybe to think that I can make or try to invite someone to forgive. But it's on their journey. Yeah. And I have space for that too. But I needed to forgive myself because I've been called out as a liar, as a looking for publicity, as looking for, and people was hard to believe that he, because he's very known, he's very big, he's very famous in Israel. They hard to believe that he can do something like that. Yeah. And now, because a lot of people admire him, and he is on TV, and he's this and he's that. But we don't know people.
No.
But we can know that, and at the same time know ourselves and have a space for forgiveness. And that's with this. And also I'm looking at P. Diddy, and I'm sorry for him. I'm sorry for him because he was trapped as well with his pain and trauma. Hurt people, exactly. Yes. And he was trapped in this illusion of I'm the king of the world, and
that's what it breeds.
Yeah, and it's greed, and it's all our sins.
That's what it breeds.
And it's yes, and that's the golden calf, because the money or the manipulation or the abuse or the sponsorship that we're trying to take on the religion or God, even, religion try to say, well, we believe in God the most. We know how to, we are the best channel to God. We are the sponsors of God. You need to, if you want to get to God, you have to go through us.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I am part of God. Like who? I don't need you to channel my prayers over there. It's go directly.
I ain't direct up because I'm one.
Yes.
Atoned.
Yes. So it's
my brothers called me Shaq Bully. My name is Shakir. My Muslim name is Shakir. It means to be thankful, grateful, and to appreciate. That's why I kept saying that. So one day, I gave a speech, and I noticed the brothers looked beat down on the yard. So I asked my right-hand man, Troy Bartholomew, Salafi Kawi, bro, why the brothers looking beat down? He said, brother, because you're beating them up. I said, behind your back, they call you Shaq Bully. Shaq, I'm the defender of the weak, bro. I slay bullies. I'm David, knocking down Goliath. I've become that in which I hated most. And it happened so subtly that you don't even know. That now, with the scriptures on my lips and I'm speaking 7 tongues and I can fill a chapel with 100, 200, 400, 500 people. Bro, but all the pain of somebody jumping on me and fucking me over and dogging me out, bro, in all parts of my life, then it found a way in my character. Oh, I got you here. You got to listen. You can't leave because in our practice that you got to stay until you're excused. So I got an audience that got to stay there. Actually, you don't. Don't you never sit up on nobody. I don't give a damn who he is. If you're feeling that he's abusing you, judging you, downing you, walk up out of there. And I'm saying it, man. Tell them to holler at me about that. Don't have no fear because I was that person. Now, just think if it was some sexual stuff or was on some whatever stuff. It can be so subtle that even it happens to a person like me. Yeah, I was in my 30s, and by the time I got 40 and now 50, but I hold that. Bro, we will become that in which we hate most if we don't constantly observe ourselves in the tone. In the Quran, it's called Ayyamul Ghafur. Sounds very close to Yom Kippur. Mm-hmm. And it's the days of atonement. Days of atonement. Mm-hmm. It's on the premise, the first attribute that was said to creation in Quranic text is Ghafurur Rahim. It's speaking on El Ghafur, the one who forgives or grants atonement, or Rahim in very special ways. So one of the first attributes that Muhammad was given in Mecca was Ghafurur Rahim, and the last words that he said in Surah 5, Ayat 8 or 3, either one, was Ghafurur Rahim. So what resonates into humanity is atonement, and let's find special ways to atone. And so it's a daily. Every day, bro. Every day I got to be in my atonement. Every day I got to check my attitude. I got to check my heart. I got to check my passions. I got to check my spirit. I got to work this dang body out because it's not as easy to work it out as it used to, bro. I got to check my tone. Atonement means tone, pitch, quality, and strength of a sound. What sounds? 45:1, the Psalms. I was in the lift the other day, and this sister says, before she started talking to me, "You in God's lift." Her name is Pastor T. I said, "God's lift?" She said, "Yeah." She said, 45:1. I said, "Psalm?" She said, "Yes." She says, pretty much, what I'm telling you is a goodly theme, a song that I sing to the King, and that my tongue is the pen of a skillful writer. And then she goes off into a 42-minute prophecy on my life. This just happened yesterday, taking some kids to the botany garden. I said, wow, what tone. When you come in here, Alex sets a tone for me. You wasn't here. He sits me down. He talks to me like an old friend. I didn't even remember his name. And I was embarrassed. I had to add him, "Brother, what is your name again?" "Alex." "Do you need anything?" "No, I'm fine. I came in here. I like it in here." You come, you're placing everything to set a tone, atonement.
Mm-hmm.
That is the key to life. We must set the proper tone, brother, for atonement. It's in our voice, not the voice of these lips and this foul tongue. It's in the tone of how we moving, how we feeling, how you deal with Sarah and how I deal with Kimmy at home. And it's only reflectors on how we deal with ourselves and how we take that into the world. You feel me, brother?
I feel you. I feel you too. I feel you deeply, and and you know how at the end of the day we're speaking in such a we're bringing the wisdom down, and as what I understand so far from reading the Zohar and the Kabbalah, that we supposed to bring, the wisdom is going down through all those,
the tree of life.
and
I
we
see you,
need,
baby.
yes, and then it goes down. But real wisdom is where we are. Let's go all the way down, and then we walk with the wisdom.
Yes.
So we own the wisdom.
Yes.
So we go through, and then we bring the wisdom back up.
Yes.
And
I love it.
But we have to go through. We have to understand what we are speaking. That's what it means, walk the talk. Because when you get the wisdom all the way to the ground, and then you go and you pass all those blockages, and then how to make this whole harmony, and then you walk with it. So what it's really how you show up when you have the struggles. And right now, my beautiful wife, Sarah, is struggling with, to detach from her own ego and our own pain and trauma. And it's a really painful process. But we both know that, as you know, it's going to free her and free us and free. But what I'm getting to the point where I want to share like what's come up for me, and like what's the fear on this world right now with all the great, we're talking about like in such a higher perspective, but how it looks on the daily practice. So right now I was like talking to her about, it's brought up a lot of things, but one of the things is that I have like a sense of freedom or kind of freedom that, I'm going to have my ring, and I'm afraid of it. And I'm going to also, when I meet a beautiful woman out, like I'm afraid to share that I have a wife And we're expecting, because there is a story in my mind that maybe she won't come closer and won't be just a friend. And I don't want anything from her. But there is something that this connection and the energy exchange that might happen. So I'm afraid that if I'll say that I'm married, one, it will take my freedom away
Mm-hmm.
of being able to have
Mhm.
more female friends,
Mm-hmm.
and the old story that they won't they won't be able to be just a friend of mine.
Mm.
There are more layers that I was resolving on the way on my path of, the validation that I was getting from
Mm-hmm.
being wanted and all of that.
Mhm.
But that's where I'm at right now. So I was talking to her about it, and she said, "That's, first of all, thank you for sharing this and that." And she asked me, "Okay, so you're going to meet Tobias. Share with him this story."
Mm.
I would love to hear what he's got to say
Oh,
about
my
it.
sister. I love it. Okay, with this being said,
But I'm
yeah,
sharing this
I have
for
it.
the sake of sharing,
Okay,
and for
thank you.
this
Thank
the
you.
sake
Thank
of
you.
open my heart and just
Okay.
like create. This is one of the intention, to create a space to just speak openly about
Bro,
everything.
brother, this is practical. This is life. Now, the listener, which we perceive and we see the listener sitting here with us. And I always do that. Like there's billions of people sitting here with us. My algorithm is this. I like to say something about the divine. I like to explain it through whatever prophet. Then I like to give you something about my life. Then I try to make it practical for the people. If you look at the first one, if you look at any speech I've done on the internet, that's my practice when I can get away with it. Here, you don't. What? Yom Kippur, Reflections, Sarah. I had a great grandmother, a grandmother, a mother, my sister Nicole, 7 years older than me, and her daughter, which is Angel or Angela. 5 generations of women. You have Joseph. You have his father. You have his grandfather. And then you have Abraham and Sarah. The point, Sarah. Sarah is very dear to me. I've studied the name Sarah very deeply because, one, my name is Tobias, and in my mythology that goes along with my name in Hebrew, Jewish,
Tuvia.
and in Catholicism, my wife is Sarah. And so for a long time, not having my physical wife with me in prison, Sarah became my wife. So anytime you said, your wife Sarah, I'm like, oh man, that's my girl. Girl, Sarah can't do no wrong. Goodbye. Sarah don't walk with me in the darkest places, being my friend, etc. So with that being said, Abraham's wife, Sarah, and I imagined that if my niece can talk to our great grandmother, then did Joseph talk to Sarah, his great grand, and what did they talk about when he shared his vision? I gotta control myself and just get like wow.
Let it flow.
Like, wow.
Let it flow.
What would great grandson Joseph, Yahweh said, sitting with Abraham, great grandfather, and great grandmama Sarah, what did they talk about? And in my mind and in my heart, she was preparing him for a journey. And if you look at the journey of Rachel, the mother of Joseph, and the relationship with the other women, very interesting relationship. If you look at the harm that Joseph experienced at the hand of his brothers, ended up in slavery, ended up around the most powerful women, to your point. So much that one of the most powerful women made a sexual advance towards him. advance that he said in all the scripts. I've read it in the African scripts where they try to destroy it. I've read it in the Torah, the Kabbalah, and the Quran. That I'd rather be in prison than to violate the spiritual code of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, now me, Joseph. Than to get out of prison and be given the keys to California or Virginia or Washington or the world. Because he became a very good steward. I share this with you in behalf of what my sister Sarah and Tobiah met Sarah. Sarah had 6, some say 7, he was the 7th, men who could not impregnate her because there was a certain trauma or demonic spirit, and I know my boy very well. He's a part of me, and I'm a part of him. He's just extreme. That's what all demons are, extremities. Mm-hmm. And so he chastens that demon into Egypt, and him and Raphael, the angel of healing, they reconcile with him and become one. Thus he becomes a lesson, and she begins pregnant, and they have a child. Brother, put that ring upon your finger. Women are very powerful souls, and they're drawn to light. They're drawn to love, and they're drawn to spirit, period. We live in Hollywood. We travel through Beverly Hills. We're in Los Angeles, bro. Women know what it ain't, and women know what it is. Inside of the sacred text, it says when the king called for Joseph, because there was a famine in the land. There was a famine in the land. Come on, bro. Mm-hmm. Come on, bro. And Joseph was able to, he said, ask the women about me. Ask the women about me. And then the most powerful women came for us. Oh, he saw dick. He's true. He true. The cab driver asked me, Pastor T asked me this morning, she said, brother, I didn't see a ring, but I'll read the text. I'm like, how are we even on this? She was preparing me for it. Mm-hmm. She said, brother, she said, are you married? I said, yeah. She said, I didn't see a ring on your finger. Then I explained to her why. Then I'm explaining to her basically what I'm explaining to you right here today. Loved one, when Christ comes back, and this is a part of Yom Kippur in the Catholic Church, they say that the Feast of Atonement is to call the world back and reconcile them with the Christ. And Christ represents the living embodiment of the love of the Spirit and the power of God to reconcile, to heal. Christ has, in the mythology, 5 wives. He comes in the thick of the night. Muhammad, the majority of people who follow Muhammad was women and children. Once again, Buddha, Malcolm, all of them, women. We have to get out of our traumas and our fears and our insecurities and our sexual perversions and our madness so we as men can men up, as married men, as having wives of power. Sarah represents motherhood. Mm-hmm. She represents princess, or she who is the daughter of the king. Mm-hmm. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. So in our walk, all women are Sarah. You feel me? Yeah. So in that vein, I would advise, as I do, brother, I can wear 100 rings. I can wear a marriage ring, loved one. Just the sister I'm with, she's not into the rituals of it like that. Mm-hmm. But the point of this is that when we engulf ourselves with this love and this light and this truth, and we lock arms and hearts first and steps and cadence, that any woman who is for God and of what we're doing, she's going to make her way to us because she represents the heart of humanity. She represents the soul of humanity. Mm-hmm. And that is who's going to be drawn to us, period.
You know, that being said, all the beautiful things, the challenge for me, for us, Sarah and I, is that because of women forgot what you just said, because they were suppressed for so long and abused and used and pulled all as as the man did all over the world and penetrate the land and soaking all the, as last time what we were speaking. So I see her as the divine who trapped in this trauma. And what's hard for me and the lesson for me is to hold the space for her in order to rip all those layers and all and the armors that she put around her in order to, feel safe in this world that she went through horrific experiences.
No, can I offer you something, please?
Huh?
Can I offer you something, please?
Yes, please.
The warmer and more loving you get, that armor will melt away. There's no ripping. There's no tearing. The more you engulf yourself. Yahweh Seth means he is empowering us. Joseph, he's empowering us. So we're being empowered. We're sitting on this couch for an hour, about 15 minutes. We're being empowered. And the more that we step in this truth with intention, as your friend said, what is this about? Then you will see that we don't have to do nothing but be, because he who controls her heart, her soul, her biology, her neurology.
But what happened to me, I hear you, but what happened to me automatically when I'm coming back home and I know that she's triggered and she put her arm up, automatically it signal me, okay, why you're defending myself, why are you defending yourself? It means that I need to put also automatically what's happened to me, that I put the armor also, and I'm like, and some parts of my nervous system say, okay, there is going to be a fight.
Yes. And
I'm like, yeah,
I got
and
you.
I'm triggered and she's triggered, and that's and now we're getting into a battle instead of, and I told her, yesterday I realized like what's my lesson is how if you're all of a sudden needs to feel that you're protecting something or you're going through something, and I interpret it as you put the armors up, even though it's my interpretation.
Yes.
So my lesson right now is how to not to be triggered and not needed to.
You and Sarah are valuable lessons because as human beings, although women are quite unique in their essence, their build, their thinking and movement, not to take away from that, but as human beings, as you said, my story is unique. I think it's like 50 guards on the yard, 1,000 people. Every guard is a pharaoh in their own right. Every guard might have had a bad day, didn't get some last night, got too much, whatever. And so I had to be able to embody the greatest amount of love, patience, flexibility, agility, sagaciousness, stamina, to come outside of a cell every day. Once again, I tell people about my father. He's still alive. He's 80 years old, so I try to guard his secrets. My father was a master of asymmetric warfare. I know how to hurt people. He taught me at the age of 7. So defending myself, that's first response. Dismantling you, breaking you. So what makes it dangerous people about me? I got all these sciences, so I can just do it psychologically now. I'm going to defend myself psychologically. I'm going to smash you psychologically, spiritually, emotionally. So the same thing as you said, the fight to flight that's naturally geared in us, whether it's Sarah or anyone else, that's where the cultivation, once again, of these lessons, of our teachings, of our prayers, of our charities, of our spiritual devotion. You're an energy worker. You're a healer, brother. When you gave me the links to what you do, all that comes into play. And as you find yourself doing better and feeling better about your approach with Sarah, that's going to boil off into the community, your business life, loved one. Every time I see the police and they see me, if I'm not on the invisibility spell when they can't see me, when they physically see me, bro, it's alarm. Especially if I don't got this big old thing or big old black guy walking, look like he got a goofy bad attitude. And then what's us gonna do? Shit, man, I ain't no kid no more, bro. You can't see none of this, bro. On this day or no other day, bro. Now I got like an army of people out here. It can turn ugly real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And see, it's justified. This is why I'm treating like this. If you didn't treat me like this, I wouldn't be acting like this. It's you. It ain't me. No, it's you. Look how you're hollering. Motherfucker, you hollering at, bro. It goes all day. So with me, bro, I done did this with police for hours. Well, fuck you, though. Fuck you. I'm going to write you up. Nigga, I'm going to stab you, punk. Oh, you say you're going to stab me. And Tubbs said he's going to stab. Man, you just called me a bitch and a chub and spit in my face through the cell, but you going to go tell this. Sarge, so I'll be in office, Sarge. I promise to Tubbs. You can't win. I can't allow you to demean my officers. I can't allow, they have to be able to win. So, although that's wrong and incorrect, I had a spiritual system that told me I'm not fighting against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and thinking and emotions and spirits that are in high and illuminated places. That's what gave me the ability, as you said, bro, you talking about these wisdoms that you're giving us took you 30, true, but it's in the daily practice, and it has to start with somebody. Mm-hmm. So it started with me hollering and threatening folks and being in handcuffs, like, oh, bro, you got to stop biting into this. Brother, you're not going to never get out of prison if I don't get control of this. And so that's where my prayers and my supplications and my loving on people and my hugs, just practical stuff, eating correctly, feeling correctly. And then I got plenty of practice because, man, to get through every gate in the prison, 1 gate, 2 gate, 3 gate, 4 gate, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there's 12 gates. And there's a CO at every gate, bro. And I got to deal with that ego again and again and again and again. And then once you get your canteen or you go see your woman on a bit, you got to go through all the egos again, all the way back. And you can't just do it because I'm just trying to go get something or I want something because you're my wife and we got to do. No, I want it for me. Mm-hmm. I want to feel better, bro. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to have high blood pressure because I'm dealing with all this shit every day. I don't want that for me, bro. I don't want it for you. I don't want it for nobody else. So yes, we're talking about my sister, Sarah. Love you, Sarah. I ain't met you yet, but I'm pretty sure we're going to meet soon. However, Sarah is the archetype of our mother, Sarah, my wife, Sarah. She's a soul. She's a person. She's getting this lesson out of you. So me and you right now can speak of it and what is the practical ways that the average person who listens to this can say, I can see that. I can shift the thinking. I don't have to go porcupine because my lover, my husband, my woman is porcupine. I can relax, forgive, give distance, not be condescending. But I ain't gonna let you hurt me either. You feel? Yeah. So, brother, I just want to share that people would see, as you said, walking, allowing it to flow down, going into the roots, our toes, bringing it back up into a living manifestation so people can taste the fruit of it. My stories of prison, I wasn't in prison, I was in school. And that school allowed me to understand the human ego and the frailties of the human ego.
Ego.
Yeah, ego and ego. Mm-hmm. And then once we dissolve, like Moses did in the burning bush, inside of the grammar in all texts, well, the 2 major texts, Muslims and Jews, Christians, that when the fire, she called him, he took off his shoes. He came on holy ground, and then God spoke. Wow. Once again, I ain't talking about how people interpret it, how they translate it. I'm talking about the script, the Hebrew script and the grammar that preserves the algorithm so we can get what's really being said. She's calling you, Sarah. The burning bush.
Mm-hmm.
Take off your shoes. We got shoes. You got some little cute shoes to go with the outfit. I got these Scorpion Nikes on. Ooh, it was on sale and I like them. Take off your shoes. Your pedigree. What you think you know. Because you on holy ground. The ground here is whole. Sarah, we're whole. We won, baby. Baby, we won. We're holy. We're one. And then from there, God spoke. I am that I am. I am that I am. Not your ego and your ego. I am that I am. Now go talk to Pharaoh and knock his punk ass down. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
He told him in the Arabic of the Quran, speak laina, speak gentle to Pharaoh. I'm like, why would you speak gentle to a Pharaoh? Because he wasn't talking to Pharaoh. He was talking to the women who follow Pharaoh. So they follow Moses because his tone and how he spoke, because they know how a Pharaoh talks. They know how an abuser talks.
Yep.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Bro.
Thank you. I
don't got no more, bro.
That's a great, we reached to the end, and I have to my understanding so far, sitting with you and going through all the experiences of life and the challenges that my beautiful wife is confronting with me with and challenging me with, like, fate. What I'm facing is that we as men, as I, have to be so humble and to take off my shoes to feel the ground and be connected to the ground.
Holy ground.
And be humble enough to just support her.
Yes.
But also heal.
Yeah.
Generations, decades and centuries of suppressing.
Yes.
And to remind her,
come on,
the divine that she is.
Yes.
And the beauty and the miracles that she's here to bring. So in order to go through this, I really need to challenge myself, and every second when the armor or like my ego wants to come up, I say no. No.
I'm on holy ground. I'm on holy ground.
Yes.
I'm whole. I'm not broken.
Exactly.
I'm not in lack.
Exactly.
I'm not deficient. I'm on holy ground. Then God will speak. I am that I am. Not what you feeling. Not the CO. Brother, and not to defame officers and COs, because the CO, the one that grabbed my hand when I was in the board, when that Commissioner Montez said, you'll never get out of prison. It was a CO that rubbed my hand and said, leave your story. I wrote a story of my life in prison. Miss Montez read the story. A CO did that. A CO, when I was walking, he had the handcuffs so hard up, but I say he wasn't tripping, he just so used to putting them on so hard because he was playing with his partner. This was when I was going to the board to get out. He said, excuse me, are those on too tight? I said, yes, sir. And he loosened them. There was an elder CO in my building. When I walked through and I told them that I was found suitable to get out, he ran and kissed me and hugged me. We cried, we prayed for you, Tubbs. It was a warden who was over thousands of COs. You feel me, bro?
Yes.
So with that being said, this is what I'm saying. It works. It touches. God will manifest. The divine will manifest when we remove our shoes and we enter her properly. He would show up and he would declare himself, and he would turn the hearts. He would soften the minds. He would take trauma and turn it to resilience. He would take our darkest moments and make it our lightest moments. Why? Because that's what he does, brother. Exodus.
Yes. So we have the ability to set ourselves free once we'll have a control on our egoic physical body
Men
and
up.
mind.
Men up.
And then we won't need to control others.
Men up, Shaq Bully. Men up. Men up.
Man up, man. Thank you so much, my brother. It was...
Men up.
Baruch Hashem. Thank God. I love you, man.
I love you too, bro.
I love you. I love you.
And out of all the people that Brother Rabbi Robbie has introduced me to, me and you so far are the only one, and I got a whole list of people, to take our words past. That's why I was so adamant. Bro, let's not just talk. There's no event to go to. There's nothing for me to look forward to. You're here. I'm here. What you want to do? I got a podcast. Let's get it.
Mm-hmm.
I got another one. Let's do it again. So that
we have more work to do
brother,
together.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I wanted to just put that on record, that when I went to the Sabbath and I was able to speak, and so many of you moved towards that, for some reason, me and you're the first one to move out on it, brother.
It's an honor for me.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Thank
and thank
you,
everybody.
Thank you,
everybody.
yes.
Say it at the same time.
Say it. Yeah, say it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for listening and for in tune with us. And if something
Amen.
hit
Amen.
a chord inside of you,
Amen. Amen.
let it echo.
Amen.
And let it resolve the pain and trauma, so we will be able to live heaven on earth.
Amen. We love you, Alex.
We love you.
Oh, brother.